my coaching and philosophy will change your life and probably eventually change the world. And I can say that because I know that it's true. And in terms of you, I know that it will change your life. Now, you may have everything that you've ever wanted in your life right now, so there will be no reason for you to listen to me. However, if you don't, then you might want to hear what I have to say. Because anything that you do not have right now, anything that you're experiencing that is uncomfortable or fearful, is only because you're not willing to become your authentic self. That's all that it is, ever. And we are each born with what we're meant to bring to the world, every single person, but we sometimes judge it and we don't understand what we have, and we are given different paths. We all have different unique life paths that we're meant to live. And when we do that, then everything else that we're supposed to have will come to us. I don't believe that God sat around and said, let's give this person some and let's give this person a little. That didn't happen. So what happens is we start to think something different. That's all. You live in your consciousness. You experience everything in your perceptions, in your thinking. That's all that there is. And if you think that there's something that someone else has that's more than you, that's where you're mistaken, because that never happened. You were given something that you were meant to bring to the world. Now, I can say these things because I've been a coach for a long time, and I've worked with so many people, thousands of people over the years, so I know this is true. But what I also know is that sometimes we won't do the work to become our authentic selves because it's uncomfortable. It really is. That's why you don't want people to see you. That's why you're embarrassed. That's why you don't have confidence, and your self-esteem is so low. It's only because you haven't yet to figure out who you are. You have yet to discover the brilliance and the genius that is within you. And see, I have taken me 40 years to put this together, so that's why I know it works. There's nothing that you could possibly be experiencing in your life that I don't have the solution in this philosophy. It's there. You just have to be willing to open up and do the work. That's all that it is. And you've probably seen or experienced or taken other courses and worked with mentors and coaches and all. They're all doing the same thing, giving you information that's going to stimulate your thinking, and then you decide whether or not you're going to accept it. That's all that it is. And then there's a process that we all move through, which is this cognitive acceptance of what we've discovered and owned about ourselves, and then we start to move into that place of becoming our authentic selves. It is a constant transformation that we all move through as we live our lives. So it doesn't matter how old you are or even how much you have achieved already. There's still more. There is always more. And so becoming your authentic self will give you everything that you want, but it also takes some doing, some work. And when I work with a client, I'm getting you to look at the assumptions you've made about yourself, which are usually limited, where you think you can't do something, or you don't have the ability, you're not the person, or you think you're an imposter, all of those things, because I live them all. I experience them all. Or you think you've had so many failures and you have done all the wrong things. Yeah, I did those too, but guess what? That makes you brilliant, because now you have all this wisdom, you have all this knowledge that you could fashion into something and probably even monetize it and create a life for yourself just from everything that you've gone through. One person said to me one day, well, I failed at everything. I said, well, great. Now you can write a book about failure and you'll probably become a millionaire, because people want to know how to get beyond that. This is why I wrote my book on fear, because I knew people wanted to know how to get beyond that. But it was also something that I lived. That's why I wrote about it. My philosophy is something that I downloaded over more than 34 years it took to get that. That's what it was. I'm a mystic. I channel spirit. I do all of those things. And over the years, it took me through every challenge and difficulty that I've experienced. Mind-body connection, physical healings. I've done a zillion of them. And so I give that to my clients, an understanding of what might be going on with you on that level. Why are your relationships so terrible? I know about that because you haven't accessed who you are, so you can't attract the correct person to you. So we work on that so that you have that right relationship. Or if you're in one that's a little funky right now, you can straighten it out. or make a new decision. And a lot of times what you will find, and I found this because I did this, and I'm just saying it because we do it, we will rather suffer than do the work that we know is going to get us to where we want to go. That's what it is. We all do that. Sometimes because it's embarrassing. Now, I held back all of this work for a long time. For the first 10 years that I was receiving this information, I didn't want anybody to know because it didn't make sense to me. How could I know this stuff? How could I have that? And then I got comfortable with it, and then everybody wanted to see it, and then I started putting it out. And then I also started seeing the results that people were achieving because of this work. See, because the philosophy, it's what I call your life operating instructions, which I downloaded, and it is saying that every single person has value and worth, and it is located in their authentic selves. And if they do the work to break down their programming that they have told themselves they couldn't be whoever they're supposed to be, when we break down that programming, then they become their authentic selves. You've probably listened to people like Dr. Joe Dispenza or Dr. Bruce Lipton or and many others that have talked about, or Tony Robbins, who talks about mindset. That's all that it is. The reason that they all talk about mindset is because you have control over that. We all do. But we also don't stay with it. We don't have the right guidance sometimes. But this is what I do in my work, in my coaching, and in my program, because there's no way for you to fail. Because if you're doing the work, your brain is changing, and it's doing it every single day. And as that happens, you become who you're meant to be, because you start to feel empowered. You start to move through every problem that you had, every difficulty, everything that you thought went wrong. You start to find the value in that, and you become this empowered person that's ready to soar. That's what happens. And the reason that I guarantee this work is because I know that it works. And I say to all of my clients, and this is not a judgment, it's just the reality, is that you will choose to succeed or you choose to fail. And you choose to fail when you do not become who you're meant to be, when you don't become your authentic self. That's what it is. And I was not willing to do that for so many years, and now I'm 72, and I can tell you it's the most magnificent thing that you can ever do, but it did take some work to get there. But now my clients don't have to go through all the crap that I do, because I've compiled it all. I've put it together that makes it easy for you to change. And when you come to me, just know that my only goal is for you to become happy, successful, prosperous, have everything that you want in your life. And all of that is available because all we keep doing is breaking down your barriers, which are all mental. We just keep breaking them down until you start to say, yes, this is me, and I'm going to soar now. That's the work. And it will change everything. We're in a different time in our world. This is why I say it'll eventually change the world, because I changed my coaching because I know that we're moving into a new period in our civilization, and this is why it's chaotic. But it's also the best time for us to become who we're meant to be, because then energetically we start to change the chaos as well. And that's the work that I'm doing. Hope to join me.